Game number 2, Sortof versus Dark. Ooh, ooh.
All right. You can do that too, Andre. I was really trying to pimp out Chance.
Dude, this is not plenty of fish or plenty of chances. There's only one chance, okay?
Exactly. That's why I want to really market him out to other dogs. There's only one Chance in the world. You can't replace Chance.
Sounds very sketch, okay?
There is only one Sortof, and there is only one Dark.
Does Chance say you take care of him?
No, but I stand up for Chance. I got Chance.
Does Chance pay you money back?
Yeah, of course he does. Chance helped me pick out my outfit for next season.
Really?
You'll see it. We also have a lot of cool special presentations in Season 4. We're going to redo some of our wardrobe and our presentation style, so something to look forward to.
Do I get something cool?
4. Maybe, Andre, if you're really good. If you get GM in Season 4.
Oh, that's easy. I'll just go back to Terran.
2 Grandmaster Zergs here duking it out on Cloud Kingdom, the second site of our battlefield for an NASL Season 4 spot. Starting in the top right, we have Sortof from Team Western Wolves, the Swedish Zerg, who's been playing great this entire tournament. That's the only way to put it. Sortof's been playing safe, solid macro styles, tried to change it up, going for mutas and Daybreak. And while the tech switch wasn't the most successful, in the end he transitioned to a good macro game and just fell apart to the counterattack style of this green Zerg in the bottom left. It's Slayer's Dark.
I don't think Sortof is playing terrible. I don't see any huge mistakes with him. It's just Dark has the great decision-making games wins. He just makes great decisions. Keep it simple, Andre.
He does.
He just makes great decisions. And that's the way he wins. It's not like something overt. It's not something like a build order and then he gets an advantage. He continues that on for a win. He just plays smarter with his army. He gets better position. And he plays, I think, even a lot safer in that endgame stage over Sortof.
And I feel like it's because Dark just seems more comfortable in those late game scenarios. We've seen him go toe-to-toe with a lot of different Zergs. We saw him, I guess, just basically pick apart every Zerg in this tournament thus far. Because in these late game scenarios, he has the Infestors moving around. He has the drops coming into snipe tech. And that was so significant because what could Sortof really do in that late game scenario when he has a huge amount of comfortable supply room, but he can't make units because he lost his Hydra Den, he's losing his Roach Warren. So overall, it just seems that Dark just seems comfortable with late game ZVZ, which is a unique skill you don't see in a lot of Zerg players.
That's something really powerful too, because I think a lot of Zergs these days don't really prepare for that in-game stage. They more so prepare for, let's say, Zerglings, Roaches, and Banelings. Maybe mutas here and there, sometimes Infestors, but they focus on that 2 base push, 3 base push, etc. You move on from there. I really feel like the majority of players don't have a lot of experience, and that's where Dark really takes the advantage. Although Sortof, of course, has endgame experience, but I think the foreign scene really doesn't have that much experience, so he doesn't have a lot of good practice partners to deal with. Whereas of course, we have our Korean Zerg over here, Dark, who probably does. You know, he can say, let's go into that endgame stage, and he is a lot more comfortable.
It just seems that NSQ series has been a proving ground for Slayers players.
Yeah.
Just because Arthur was doing well last week, and this week Dark's doing well again. We've seen other players like Miso, Min, Coca, all these guys, KDY. Slayers really wants to get in NASL Season 4, and for good reason. These players are good. They're talented, and they're smart. That's what's really cool. That's one of the things I really enjoy about both these players. They play really intelligently, just makes good decisions. But again, I'm looking for Sortof to really be a person that kind of initiates stuff, because it seems that he's trying to play really defensive till he has like that huge ball, but then when he tries to go for that attack, Dark held it really well, even though Sortof had a minor advantage. And I think that three army attack in Daybreak, was that really what Sortof needed to do, or is it?
Yes, or you mean Dark?
No, because remember when Sortof went for 3 different attacks, or one on the top ramp, the bottom ramp. We don't actually usually see that often to go for that kind of content.
It's a reaction thing, right? In that position, Sortof had to, or excuse me, Dark had to do that attack because he said, "Oh, my quality supply isn't that good for dealing with Broodlords. He's going to die every single time if they meet up in a head-to-head fight." So when Dark actually pushes out, it kind of facilitates that three-pronged aggression. Like, that's the only move that Dark really has, a counterattack. Now, it could have been one single blow for the counterattack, or it could have been, as we saw, multiple blows. It was multiple blows. It obviously dealt a lot of damage. But I feel like Dark, sort of should have expected that in that position. Like, there shouldn't be a place where he's like, oh, taking out Banelings, by the way. But that's a little bit of last game. I really feel like sort of should have prepared for a situation like that, but it just felt like he was super unprepared. He didn't think that his opponent would counterattack. Of course he did.
Sort of is feigning heavy aggression, or if I say feigning, I don't know how much he's going to commit to this attack, because he does have a third base. A couple Banelings detonate, but really miss the mass amount of Zerglings, and sort of has a good trade thus far. One Queen does get picked off, but there are enough Zerglings and Banelings to really defend it. Really trying to bait it out, but a couple Zerglings are picking off Banelings as well. Good micro from Sortof.
Wow.
And you can see Dark does not trade very well in that exchange.
Yeah, really, really bad over there. Sort of will take the small advantage over here, but the third base is under a lot of serious fire, and this third base cannot go up. It's just too much time. These Zerglings will be alone. And wow, nice trades over here.
2 Banelings for 2 Banelings. I guess you can take that, but sort of those forced to cancel the third. And Dark's going to continue running here. Now, there's not a lot of Zerglings, and Dark can completely overwhelm his opponent, but at the same time, so is sort of going straight for the natural main line of Dark, and the drones have to back out, but sort of not necessarily detonating immediately, but he does get a good explosion. And now a couple of Zerglings are remaining, but the big story is back at Sortof's natural as well. He's losing his queen, or will he? The drones are being pulled. The Zerglings are also rushing to the scene, and Sortof holds. Very well done by our sweetest Zerg.
What a complete sicko. And when everything is said and done, what do we have? Income tab shows 42 to 35, a slight advantage for Dark. But the main thing is, look at this double evolution chamber. Yes, it's only 25% of the way there, or 30% of the way there. But the fact of the matter is, when that hits, his opponent will be far behind. A Roachborn is going to come up here, but there's still no evolution chamber to keep up with these Zerglings. They're going to be very, very powerful all game long.
Andre at the natural. A lot of Banelings are running straight to the drones, and Sortof loses almost all of his drones at the natural. Some of them are so weak, and Sortof was completely unprepared because a lot of his Zerglings were just not in position. In fact, a lot of them just they just ran straight into the first Baneling and died. And Sortof all of a sudden finds himself down a heavy deficit in worker count. And Dark is continuing to trying to make some Zergling pressure, but in the end, he has a very nice advantage here.
Yeah, I mean, he's not that far behind in economy, but it was, of course, in return for not having a huge army. As you can see, the units tab. I mean, he caught up. That's the nature of the beast with Zerg versus Zerg. You're able to catch up very easily, but at what cost? At what cost? It is, of course, a ton of Zerglings in this position. Can he rely on his 1/1 plus Banelings to actually be safe?
Oh, 2 for 1 Banelings. Very good for Dark, but the Queen does snipe the remainder one. Another Queen gets a snipe, but the Queen dies in the form of self-sacrifice. Another group of Banelings are coming in. This is a heavy siege from Dark. Will sort of be able to do good splits, but he still loses a good amount of drones. And the big thing is that he keeps the Queen count low, so sort of can't protect the ramp, Andre.
But he does have 1/1. Will that help? No, the Banelings just disregard any of that. And they're going to go up into the main. If they make it to the drone line, that's pretty much GG. It's so hard to come back from that. But they instead explode on other units.
Sortof does stabilize again, but more Banelings are coming in. Non-stop waves of aggression from our Korean Zerg. Dark wants it. And the Banelings are all clumping up directly to the Zerglings, and Sortof is losing more of his ability to defend. Sortof forced to kind of evacuate the natural, send some drones back to his main just for a moment's breath. But, I mean, Dark keeps pushing in here. Now, Dark is trading less and less efficient. As you can see, that sort of starting to stabilize here, but again, on only 1 Queen. In the end, Sortof can't keep up in his production cycles.
And he lost about 10 drones from all of those engagements, and you said it best. He was only on 1 Queen for a very long time. He was able to get that inject in with the last one before it died, but still, the fact of the matter is he should have about 8 more larvae than he does right now. That's a big critical blow that he has. And look at this. Actually a 1-2 punch here. This roach attack is just a combination to what he was doing this whole time, saying, I'm going to keep putting the pressure on you, get that economic advantage, and then once I've weakened you, I will actually thrust the knife into your back and just end it right here.
Well, the way to actually kill Andre is not just thrusting, but twisting the knife. Fun fact.
That's just
well, not really fun, but fact. For anyone curious.
Fun fact, guys. This is how you kill someone.
The way to really secure a knife thrust is to twist the knife. That way it's harder for the knife to get out. But, ooh, talking about hard to get out, these Zerglings are really being annoying, trying to harass the third. Sort of realizes at this point he's playing very far behind as Dark is sitting on a very comfortable advantage in supply because he has roaches coming out. Sortof does get cleaned up, and now with that many roaches coming out to the field, is he going to be able to hold anything at his natural? He has a lot of Zerglings and Banelings, but
not
these
enough.
roaches...
And they're going to get position. Once they get into this tight little corridor or even these little crevices, it's so hard for Zerglings to be really efficient, and I don't know how Sortof is going to hold this off efficiently. I don't think he will. Yes, he will maybe clean this up, but that's at the cost of drones, a ton of larvae, and look at this, a lot of roaches coming in from behind. This is going to be it. Dark is just surging forward into a great position. GG gets called out. A 2-0 victory so far for Dark.
Dark now is 1 win away from his spot in NASL Season 4. Sortof is currently sitting at a pretty big disadvantage, but we'll see whether or not he's able to come back. Andre, do you have any thoughts before we send people off to commercial?
I think we're going to have a Korean superstar right here, man. I think we're going to have another Korean enter into the NASL Season 4. He's just looking so good.
Dark is playing extremely well, and we'll find out what happens. Sortof, he has an opportunity. He has to win 3 in a row. We'll find out what happens right after this.